Good morning, Denver, surrounding Colorado area, and to all our Broncos fans abroad. I'm Devin, and you're watching Breakfast with the Broncos on Buffet Sports.
Uh, yeah. Okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing.
What's up, ladies and gents? We're back. Episode 4. I don't have much to say, so I'm going to throw it over to Devin on Walk Talk. Welcome back. Walk Talk episode 4. What are we doing today? We're going to wrap up the draft. We've got 3 picks to go through, so we're going to talk some stats, introduce those guys, and then zoom out. Look at the draft as a whole, what the Broncos front office thought were our biggest needs, and then address some of the still remaining needs, arguably, that we have, and how we could fill those gaps going forward, whether it's trade during the regular season, UDFA still in the off season, or if there's any free agents that Sean Payton or the front office feels like could be viable starters, role guys going forward. And then we're going to revisit the quarterback conversation, Bo Nix, Jared Stidham, I almost said Russell Wilson, Zach Wilson, and so that's it. That's what we're going to cover today. Let's hop back to the desk. Let's talk about it. All right, we're back. So, yes, I'm wearing different clothes. Life happens. It's a different day. Let's finish the draft today. We got 3 picks to go through. We're going to introduce them, and then, like I said, zoom out, talk about what needs we did address and what needs we still have. So let's get into it. All right, starting out with Chris Abrams-Draine, the 145th pick in the draft, a cornerback out of Missouri. He stands at 5'11", 179. Position ranking 13, so still grabbing a top 20 corner in the draft in the 5th round. Obviously, there's a reason he dropped, but it was a need, so we addressed it. For Abrams-Draine and his 4 years at Missouri, he amassed 104 solo tackles, 32 assisted tackles, and 136 total tackles. 3.5 tackles for a loss, and 7 interceptions. In 2023, which was his last year and definitely his best year, he had 38 solo tackles, 13 assisted tackles, totaling 51 total tackles, and 2.5 of his 3.5 tackles for a loss were in 2023, and 4 of his 7 interceptions in college were in 2023. So this is pretty straightforward. It's a corner. It's adding depth to that defensive back room. We're going to get into safety. I still think that's a need there, but certainly a reasonable pick. In the 5th round, grab a corner. There's, I can't remember off the top of my head, but we've got guys that are questionable in the cornerback room. So why not take a chance on a guy in the 5th round? Pretty straightforward there. I'll have a star next to his name to see if he's an impact player come the regular season. In the 7th round, the 15th pick of the 7th round, overall, the 235th pick, we have Devon Vele, or Vele, stands at 6'4", 203 pounds, wide receiver out of Utah, position ranking 31. We obviously grabbed Troy Franklin earlier in the draft, so 7th round, take a chance on a receiver here. He played 6 total years, but his freshman year, his first freshman year, he only played 1 game. So we'll look at it as 5 years essentially. Over his career, he had 123 receptions, 1,689 receiving yards, and averaged 13.7 yards per catch with 9 total touchdowns over those 5 years. 2023, his final year before school, he had 43 receptions for 593 yards, an average of 13.8 yards per catch, and had 3 total touchdowns. But arguably, his junior year was his best year. In 22, he had 55 receptions, 695 yards, and averaged 12.6 yards per reception with 5 total touchdowns. The interesting thing here is in 22, he played 14 games, which is more in line with a full college season. In 23, he played 10 games. I tried to find some information on if it was an injury. The only thing I could see is he didn't suit up for a game, but there was no news of him being injured. So not sure what that's about, but he missed. Team went 8-5, so he missed at least 3 games. Not sure why there, but could have been his best year. Certainly was on track to. You had 3 more games there. You could see a 700, close to 700, over 700, close to 800 yards total for the year. Tack on another probably 15 to 20 receptions over those 3 games, maybe a touchdown or two. So if we're projecting it that way, could have been a better year than 22, but still, I find it odd that he only played 10 games. So if you guys know why, if you guys follow Utah Utes football, let me know. I'll look into it more, but I couldn't find anything in the short duration of time I did try and look. And then the last guy, there's not much to say here. Center out of South Carolina, Nick Nick Gargiulo. That's what we're going to go with. He stands at 6'5", 318 pounds. Like I said, a center. We took him in the 7th round, the 36th pick, 256th pick overall. Almost Mr. Irrelevant. I'm going to put a picture of him right here. I don't think there's anything else to say. Look at him. Look at the flow. Look at the stash. That sounds like that looks like a successful lineman to me. Will he see the field? Who knows? Will he make the team? Only God knows. But that's a good locker room guy at the very least. Look at him. He looks like a great time. Nick, we're looking out for you. Obviously, this is pretty quick. The back half of the draft is less interesting, certainly. Less of big name guys or impact guys, but who knows, right? Who knows? Let's zoom out now and let's look at the needs we certainly addressed in this draft, and then some of the needs we still have, in my opinion, the big ones at least going forward, and then some ideas of where we're gonna find the help. So the needs we certainly addressed: quarterback, obviously, 12th pick overall, Bo Nix. We got that. Hopefully he ends the quarterback carousel in Denver. Fingers crossed. When will we see Bo Nix? Will it be week 1? Will he win the starting job straight out? Will it be, week 4, week 8? Will Jared Stidham or Zach Wilson play at all this year? Who knows? We're going to see him certainly this year. The question is really just when. I think thinking about it a little bit more, seeing the mini camp, I think maybe week 4, but I'm leaning towards week 4, but I'm not surprised if he comes out week 1, being how Sean Payton raved about him, and his ability to process information and just soak it in like a sponge. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him week 1 based on that. We'll certainly see come preseason. We have a couple more months before that, but fingers crossed for Bo Nix. Obviously, I think the next thing we addressed is wide receiver. We took two wide receivers and a running back. So skill positions, that was a need there. Obviously, the 7th round, you'd like to get another guy higher, but you do what you got to do. Troy Franklin, excuse me, is a huge help there. And especially pairing him with a rookie quarterback that they've played together. Huge. I think that in and of itself is worth, taking Troy Franklin instead of taking a guy in the 4th and then another guy in the, 2 guys in the 4th, whatever, and having them both be receivers, going and getting the guy, Bo Nix's guy, I think makes it a that much better of a pick if you're going to take a receiver in the 4th round. So we redressed receiver, and then obviously edge, Jonah Ellis. That's going to be one that I'm really interested in looking at. and seeing his impact. Can he make a large impact on our defense? We clearly, Denver was not a good run stop defense. And for the, since we're throwing it out there, that they weren't really great rushing the passer either because edge rushers couldn't stay healthy. I'm looking at you, Bradley Chubb. Um, we'll see. I'm I think so. I think he'll get a good amount of snaps this year. Young body. I still have to get some film in to see what his strengths are, and how he can fit into the defense, but I'm hopeful. And then the last one, obviously, is running back. It was worth it to take Estime, um, and I believe it was the fifth round. Let me double check. I already forgot. Uh, yeah, fifth round. It was worth it. It's worth it to me. There's no reason to take a running back higher anymore, especially with just the way the league is going in general. Um, I'll be very interested to see who gets snaps in the backfield for Denver. And hopefully we see, I mean, best case scenario, Estime is a great, power back and he's a punisher. And then we can get Javonte rolling. He returns, he's healthy, he can stay healthy throughout the year. And we get the Javonte that we've been, looking for the last couple of years, or maybe we move off him. I've seen some rumors. I don't really buy into him, but I've seen some rumors that Najee Harris is a target, but I don't love that either. Needs. The two big ones for me, I think, are safety and tight end. Pretty straightforward. We gave up Justin Simmons. Um, there's not much to say outside of that. We took a cornerback here in the fifth round, but no safeties. So who's going to step up into that role? Is there anyone in free agency left? Is there a UDFA that's going to come out of mini camp or training camp, something like that, that's going to be, an impact player? Or is that something that we target in season with a trade? I don't know what picks we have available next year, but safety is one that I think is very important that we need to figure out. And then tight end. It's always helpful to have a pass catching, run blocking tight end. And I think Peyton Manning era was the last time we had a legitimate tight end, one of the Thomases. Outside of that, I can't think of a recent, during the quarterback carousel, I should say, I can't think of a tight end that was impactful at all. And so I'm nervous to see how that goes because that can be a big part of the offense. Obviously, tight ends are security blankets for quarterbacks. We know that. And for a rookie quarterback, that can be a huge help. So that's something that's got to get figured out at some point, which is why some people wanted to see the Broncos take Brock Bowers, and I didn't hate that idea. But I liked Bo Nix better. I think you're just smarter to take him there at 12 than Brock Bowers. That feels like a reach. So tight end will be interested. I'll be interested in. So obviously, what are our options? UDFAs, trades, and then possibly in-season moves, or someone steps up. I don't think that there's a lot of guys that will be stepping up because that should have already happened, unless now that Sean Payton has cleaned house and everything is exactly how he wants it. Maybe now someone steps up, but I think it's going to be someone new to the team, whether it's a UDFA, in-season trade, or I guess a free agent at some point, a cut. I don't know. There's still some cuts that probably could happen for some teams. So that could be interesting. So short one there. I just wanted to introduce the last of our draft picks. We're wrapped up with the draft. So it's going to be kind of rumor time now. I think that there's a couple specific people that there are rumors around. I mentioned the Najee Harris thing. I don't know how much legitimacy there is to that. It's kind of something that I've just seen thrown around on Twitter and on YouTube for certain Broncos creators. Obviously, there's the Cortland Sutton question. That one to me is the most interesting and legitimate going forward. So we'll keep our eyes out for that. That's probably what we're going to be talking about next week. Spots for him. What does it look like if he stays? And next week we're going to talk about the cap situation as well. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Devin, and you're watching Buffet Sports. If you want to see gosh. So there it is. I'm Devin, and you're watching Breakfast with the Bon. So there it is. I'm Devin, and you're So there it is. I'm Devin, and you're watching Breakfast with the Broncos on Buffet Sports. If you want to see more of me, our other shows in general, you can catch us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at buffet.sports. We post every day, if not twice a day, for short form content. And now the only day we're not posting for long form is Thursday. Every other day has a long form video. So, tons of content on the channel. Eat it up. Like, comment, subscribe. We'd love you too. It'd be awesome. Leave us and heavy comment, share the hate. We do a comment show every week, so we will definitely. Your comments don't go unnoticed. That's all we'll say. Ciao, guys. This is editing Devin, post show Devin. And I'm looking at Devon Vele, and I haven't looked at the man's face, like him in person yet. Well, not in person. You get what I mean. We could be cousins. We could be cousins. What y'all think? If I had the capacity to grow a beard, we could be cousins. Oh, I just had to put that out there. All right, that's it.